think out of all the words that are commonly used in solution-focused brief therapy, the word instead is one of the most powerful. To give you a visual, it works in the exact same way as a train track switcher. Just one small word completely changes the trajectory of a conversation, in just the same way as a slight movement of a railway track changes the trajectory of a train. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. So welcome to episode 13 of Don't Forget with Anna Francis. I'm Anna Francis, the CEO of the SFU and a registered counsellor in New Zealand. And this video series is all about sharing my thoughts, my ideas and reminders about things we so often and easily forget when we're learning and practicing solution-focused brief therapy. So in each segment I focus on one key thing that I hope helps you while you're on your learning journey or keeping your solution-focused brief therapy skills sharp. So I realise mushing language and trains together is a little odd, but I find learning much easier when I can add a visual meaning or add analogies to things. So I figured maybe that would be useful for you too. And I had one of my nieces staying with me in the last school holidays, and while she was here I put her to work helping me clear out this big cupboard full of toys that I've been meaning to get rid of for about a decade. My kids have all grown up now, so most of them I don't need anymore. It was full of memories, many things I'd forgotten about, and one of those toys was this old train set, and I remember having it set up on this exact table actually when my children were very young, and they loved turning it on and watching the train go round and round and round. It made a really irritating noise. But what they loved the most was to use the track switcher and change the trajectory of the train, change the trajectory that the train was on, setting it off on a completely different path. And I was looking at the box the other day, so Lucy did a great job clearing the cupboard, but I clearly didn't do a great job getting everything gone because there are still things here. Anyway, I was looking at the box the other day, and at the same time I was thinking about how solution-focused conversation switches up what our clients focus on and move towards. And I was thinking about how the word instead is basically the conversation switcher. It sets the path of the conversation off in a different direction, the direction of the client's best hopes. And it really is common when we ask clients what they hope for that they give us an answer that consists of what they don't want. So for example, we may ask, what are your best hopes from our talking today? And they may say, I don't want to feel anxious anymore, or I don't want to be so stressed out all the time, or I don't know, I'm just so tired. A whole plethora of answers could go there. And these kind of answers can lead to a few other trajectories for this session. So the clinician can either continue to go down the same path and try and use what the client doesn't want as the desired outcome or best hopes, or the clinician guesses what the opposite language may be and just avoids using any of the client language, or the client can panic and abandon the solution-focused approach because they don't feel comfortable to keep asking questions when they keep getting the I don't want this answer. The other direction, and this is the direction you want to go in, the clinician asks the client, what would you be feeling, being instead? So let's see where each of these tracks may lead and see if these are destinations that you have found yourself arriving at. So let's go down the first track, using the client's I don't want language, using what the client does not want as the desired outcome. So let's say the client does not want to be stressed out and anxious all of the time. Now you can ask solution-focused description questions. When did you last remember not feeling stressed and anxious all the time? What resources did you draw upon the most when you weren't stressed and anxious? Or suppose you woke up tomorrow and you were no longer feeling stressed and anxious, what would be the very first thing that you would notice? Now what may happen is the client may struggle to answer because they're thinking about the stress and the anxiety even in the absence of it. It may also be that they can answer your questions and you can have a great conversation, but you'll end up down the track likely struggling to really go deep and attach real meaning to the possibilities of what the presence of their real desired outcome is. And this can lead to you feeling like, when you're going around in circles. At the SFU in our live trainings and coaching calls, when people ask for advice about a client they're struggling to help, it's very common when we ask, what are their client's best hopes? That they give us only what the client doesn't want. So that's a really common thing. So track 2. Using our own language to add what we think is the opposite of what the client doesn't want. So we assume the opposite of stressed and anxious and what that may be, but the risk here is that the language you choose may not be what matches the client's meaning to the word. So again, you may find yourself down the track struggling to go deep and attach real meaning to their desired outcome, because when we use our own embedded language, we can't really ask more meaningful questions to something we've given them, not in the same way as using their own language. So, track 3, you feel completely stuck because you're getting the answers that you were not expecting or hoping for, and that starts stressing you out, so you fall back to your older modalities. And then track 4, and this is the track we want to stay on, asking the client what they want instead when they answer with the removal of something. This redirects the conversation towards what the client wants, even if you need a few redirects, as some clients can answer with the removal of something several times over. They may say, I don't want to be stressed and anxious. Well, if you weren't stressed and anxious, what would you be instead? I would be way less tired. And if you were way less tired, what would you want to be instead? You can just keep going until you get that going where you want it to go. Because we always want to arrive at the best hopes with language that isn't just meaningful, but also something they do want, rather than the absence of something they don't. So, I have a wee self-challenge for you, just to get you in the habit of asking instead. So whenever you're thinking about something you don't want, like, I'm so tired, I'm so annoyed, I'm frustrated, angry, ask yourself what you would rather be instead, and figure out what that language is that fits with you and what you would rather be. Now, you don't have to go all solution focus on yourself, although that never hurt anyone, but just get into the practice of switching what you don't want to what it is you want instead, so you become fluent in making that same switch for your clients. Now, an unrelated side note, did you know Elliot has an epic new podcast out called Family Therapy? You can find that on all podcast platforms. It's like reality TV for your auditory system. Go check it out. It is amazing. So thank you so much for joining me for this solution focused snippet, and I really hope that this reminder helps you as you continue to grow in your skills and confidence. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notifications for our other amazing videos all about using solution-focused brief therapy in your work. So until next time, keep being you.